Hello everybody. I'm actually on time. I definitely didn't think that I was going to be able to get started exactly at 10 o'clock, but hey, here we are. So basically, I've been doing a lot of inner kind of, I kind of go in cycles. I'm a cyclical person. Has to do with my emotional wave. I'm an emotional authority. And so during kind of my cycles of being very present on the internet and being very almost want to say extrovert, very like sharing all the details, very active. I go through phases like that, and then I go through these kind of inner reflective periods where I spend a lot of time literally just in meditation or just sitting thinking, or in my journal just sharing ideas and things like that, really just in my head. I really let myself flow into my open head center and just get in touch with a bunch of different ideas and concepts. It's a very it's a time where I usually end up consuming a lot of other people's content instead of creating my own. And so over the next 14 days, first of all, I have a few guest speakers, so that'll be fun. But really, I just want to share some of the things that I've been pondering and just kind of give my voice a place to go. I'm not really sure. I just need to talk about some of these things because they've been very heavy on my heart, and sometimes talking allows me to get into a flow where writing doesn't necessarily allow me to. So eventually these might turn into podcast episodes, or this might turn into a regular thing. I don't know. I just want to be on live video more, sharing more about the things that are going on in my head and the ideas and concepts that I've been playing with, because I feel like it's such a quick way to share this information. There's so much happening in my head and in all the changes that I'm going to be doing in my business. There's so many things happening right now, manifesting generator. So this is a very efficient way for me to bring you the content. Literally, I just record it live and that's it. It's a very easy way for me to just bring you the content that I want to be bringing you in a way that's easy for you to consume. You can listen to it, you can watch it, you can take notes on it, you can pause it. It's a very versatile method, platform type of content, I guess. I'm not really sure what the word is. So anyways, I'm gonna grab a pen because apparently I need to have something in my hand. It helps me think. What did I write down? Expectations. Yes. Today I want to talk about expectations versus standards, because something that I've realized a lot is that people, especially if you are a non-specific manifester, people tend to, we in general, we have a lot of expectations for things. Let's just start there. So if you've been in my world, you know that I don't play by the rules. I don't like rules. I don't like everyone else's rules, especially if they're realistic. Don't even get me started. So in that process, that's something that I do with my one-on-one clients very often, is we raise the standards. We create a reality where you're not available. We raise your energetic minimums. We're okay, I'm not available for anything below this. We get very specific about what it is that you want, what it is that you need from the world in order to feel supported in doing your soul level transformation work, the things that you are here to do to help the collective. What do you need so that you can feel the most high vibe, the most high frequency? What can you do? Hi, Carol. So what can you do? What do you need from the world in order to live your best life, in order to be the best server that you can be and use your gifts and talents in the ways that you naturally can? But first you need to really recognize what is it that you need from the world to do that? What do you need from the universe? What do you need to be bringing in? What do you need to be manifesting? What kind of financial abundance do you need? What kind of clients do you need to be working with? What kind of relationships do you need? What kind of support do you need from the universe to do the things that you were here to do? And so something that I do very early on with my one-on-one clients is we look at their standards. We look at, okay, everything around you is a reflection of your current standards. This is what you're okay with having. This is what you have settled for. This is what you are okay with. This is your standard. You have this this area of, I'm living at arm's length. This is what I've deemed as okay or is acceptable. So I will never make below. I could not even imagine having below this amount of money in my bank account, but having more than this, I don't think that's possible either. So you have this money's a very easy metric to use. So you can do it with money, you can do it with weight. I can't imagine weighing less than this, but I can't imagine weighing more than that. What is your standard? What is the range in which you are comfortable? Maybe you're like, well, I got down to this weight for my wedding, but that was, years ago, and I've had kids since then, and like all those things after that doesn't necessarily matter. So we have these standards, and we do it in all of the things. We do it everywhere. And I believe that it has to do with our self-worth. So if you think that somehow my self-worth, if you boil it down, it comes down to self-worth. So if my self-worth is down here, it's like a cup. You have a container. My self-worth fills a quarter of the cup. And so anything that comes into my life in that specific cup, so if it's money, my self-worth around money is super low. It's like a quarter of the way full. I'm never going to be able to reach a goal or a standard where it's going to require that cup to be half full or 3/4 of the way full or full. I will never be able to meet that standard. I'm going to have to the energy is going to have to meet me where I am, where my self-worth is. And if my self-worth is not in alignment with higher numbers, then or a lower number on the scale, or whatever it is for you, being treated a certain way, if your self-worth is not there, it will not be able to show up for you. So we do a lot of self-worth work. Yeah, I actually said that right. Sounded weird. So we do a lot of this inner work of this, what am I actually here to do? Is this actually valuable? We relabel what we choose to be as valuable, because that's all it is. Value is just a label. We've decided that that a piece of green paper with a 100 is so much more valuable than the same piece of paper made out of the same material, but it only has a 1 on it, or a 10. So, I mean, it's the objects that, what do we call it in psychology? There's the perceivable object and the perception. The perceivable form is like the actual physical object. So if I said this is a piece of metal, and it's been shaped to have a loop on the side of it so that's easy to grab. It's been painted a little bit. It has a dog shape on it, but it's metal. It's not like you see it as a coffee cup, but what it actually is a piece of metal that has been shaped into a hollow, I'm gonna spill my coffee, shaped into a hollow container that can hold liquid. So money it's just a piece of paper with it's kind of a clothy texture, and it can rip. It's just paper, and we've labeled it as money. We've labeled it as something that has a lot more value than actually what the actual physical piece of paper may or may not have. It's really just a thing. It gets its meaning from what we attach to it. And so energetically, we label things in a lot of detail. We like to back up our perspectives, because everything, our reality, is a reflection of what our standards are. So our standards and our perspectives, very similar. We see what we are available to see. We see, you could say this, it's like two people can go through the same experience and have completely different outcomes. So if you think of like an active shooter or something like that, something very traumatic, one person might be like, dude, that was awesome. We survived. It was a miracle. So grateful to be alive. And another person may experience that as a trauma. They may need to be in therapy for several years. They may, have some really deep wounds that triggered for them. So their perspective of the event has a lot to do with how it actually went for them. They went through the same exact thing, both of those people in that example, but if they're both perceiving it as something different, then it's not the same for them. They experienced very different things, even though they were in the same physical place, because their perspectives on that situation were very, very different. So perspectives and the things that we choose to see, the standards of what we're available for, is what's going to show up for us. Now, the difference between standards and expectations is standards is allowing it to come to you. It's a very strong energy. It is, this is what I am available for, and I do not care where it comes from, but I'm not available for anything other than this. It's setting into stone, this is what I am available for. This is what I'm energetically a match for. I'm not okay with going below here. I'm not okay with above this. This is the container in which I am expecting, but not expectations. No, it's not even an expectation. It's not that I'm expecting this to be filled. It's this, I'm creating this container and it is going to be filled no matter what. I don't care how it gets filled, but it's going to get filled. It is it's not an expectation, that's the wrong word, sorry. It's a standard. This is the bare minimum of what I'm available for. So an expectation is heavy. This is where we expect every person in our lives, if we say, I have the standard of, I get to be treated a certain, I am seen as valuable. And so if that is my standard, is that I am seen by valuable by the people in my life, that is not licensing for me to force everybody in my life to see my value because I want to keep them in my life. You have the standard of I am valued by everyone in my life. That's a great standard. And so you're allowed to be there. You're allowed to be in this, I have this standard of I am treated with respect. I am treated with value. People value my work. People see me. People hear me. Whatever it is that your standards are, you have that. And then your expectations are that because I have set this standard, everyone has to treat me like this. Everybody they come across. And then you try and force the people in your life to do that, to treat you that way. And this is where we are labeling things and we're putting the expectations onto other people. And so it's not saying I am valued. It is saying I am valued and you have to value me. It is putting it on them. It is weighing them down when they're in your experience. It's this fighting. You're trying to justify it. You're trying to prove it. You're trying to make other people see it. You're trying to prove it to other people because you don't fully believe it in yourself. So if you don't fully believe that you get to be valued, you're going to try and force all of the people in your life to value you the way that you want to be valued. Instead of saying, I get to be valued, and then allowing the people who are not going to value you to leave your life. Because that's going to make space for the people who will see your value and who you don't have to work hard to get to see your value. You don't have to prove it to them. So that's a standard versus an expectation. A standard is, I get to be valued. And I don't care who values me, but the people in my life, I don't care who the people in my life are, the people in my life value me. And if you need to do more work around that, if you need to do some forgiveness work, whatever it is, but that is a standard. An expectation is, you are in my life, you have to value me. And that's heavy. So a big thing that people do this with is money. We don't just say, I am, this is my self-worth around money. This is what I know that I deserve. This is what I'm worthy of. This is, because I am a spiritual being, I am doing this soul level transformative work. I am serving the collective. I am doing my part. I've gone through all of this karma that I'm here to repay. We don't do that. We put the expectations on money. So it's not this, I have this standard of I earn this amount of money. It's, I want to earn this amount of money, but I don't believe that I'm worthy of that amount of money. So I'm going to try and make money worthy, make myself worthy of money. It's this weird conjuring energy instead of this easy, effortless manifestation energy. And so in that, when you're trying to, expectations, that's, again, told you this is really just me rambling and talking to myself, so hopefully you enjoy this. We weigh down things with expectations. Money is not just money. It's not just a piece of paper to a lot of people. It is money, that thing that I've always really had trouble with. I've really had a hard time manifesting it. I try, but I should get better at it. I probably have wounds about it because that one time that my mom told me that I was the expensive child, and we have all of these stories of what we associate money with. We associate it with all of those things that we've experienced in our past. And therefore, when we're attaching money to, money is not just money, but money is the thing that broke up my parents' marriage, the thing that made us move across the country, the thing that we never had growing up, the root of all the problems in my childhood, the reason for our bankruptcy. When we're weighing it down with, this is all of the things that money has done for me in the past, it's pretty much every dollar is a new dollar. And so if this dollar is wanting to support you, you're saying it's a relationship. It's a relationship with money. You have a relationship with money. If you are saying, because this guy for 5 years ago told me that I was fat, that every guy is going to tell you that you are fat and everyone thinks that you are fat, then you're not going to be able to go into a relationship with another person because you're going to be expecting that they're going to think that you're fat. We do this with money. So your parents fought about money. That does not mean that this new money coming into your life at this point in your life is going to cause fights. It's not going to break up marriages. You're putting the expectations of previous experiences onto the things in this now experience. And that is what's weighing it down. If you can't just allow things to flow into your life because you're filtering it in this, oh, you can't just be money. If you have to be money, you have to show up in this way. And I'm only available for, it's in your standards as well, I'm only available for money to be in my life if money looks like this. If money looks like the thing that causes all of the fights, the thing that I've struggled with really hard, the thing that I have a hard time manifesting. I can manifest simple things and discounts, but like not cash money. Like all of these expectations and these things that we have, we're expecting it to happen again. That's an expectation. Is you, because something has happened, you have that proof, you have that belief that this is probably true. You're expecting it to be true again. You're expecting that you're stereotyping. You're saying that every dollar causes problems. You are generalizing. You are saying that every relationship, every guy thinks that you are fat. If that's that's the simile we're using again, it's stereotyping and it's not right. It's a judgment that doesn't need to exist. It doesn't have to happen that way. And we still let it happen. So when we're aware of this, when we're just aware of the fact that words, when we're aware of the fact that we have these judgments and that we are weighing down things that we were trying to manifest into our life with our expectations, with this, because you're in my life, you have to play by my rules, not this, the people that are in my life play by my rules, and so if you want to be in my life, you can play with them, but I'm not attached to you. There's an attachment. In that example, if you think I am valued by all the people in my life, you are looking at your life currently and you're saying, okay, all of these people have to value me. And you're trying to put the expectation on the people in your life to value you. When really you get to say, I am valued by all the people in my life. And in that, I don't care who the people are who are in my life, but they value me. That holds space for this is my standard, but it's not my expectation. I'm not expecting everybody who ever enters my life to value me. I'm expecting the people who I choose to keep in my life to value me. And if that means that I have to cut ties in a relationship, I'm okay with that because my standard is that I'm valued. And cutting ties is in alignment with me being valued because that's cutting a person who is not really available for that standard. It's not you are in my life and therefore you have to value me, and then that's forcing energy and that's gross and that doesn't feel good. That's very weighing down with those expectations of because you're in my life, I'm expecting you to value me. That sounds like rules. That sounds harsh. That sounds like taking away someone's free will. You want money to be in your life easily. You want people to be in your life easily and by choice. You don't want to weigh them down with your expectations because they feel that. And all of these things that enter into your life, if you have these expectations, you're weighing them down, you're making them heavy, they cannot exist in their true form for you. They have to show up for you in a way that you have labeled them, in a way that you were expecting them to label, or you are just always going to be filtering them as that. So if you think, if you are filtering it through this lens of the whole money causes divorces and money's bad and all those things you heard as a child, then money can only show up for you in that way, in that manner. And even if it does try and show up in a different way, it can't, because you are weighing it down with the expectation of that it will. And because it is, if it's in your experience, it's in your control. And if it's in your control, it's available for your perspective. It's going to be a reflection of what's going on the inside. So if your expectations are weighing things down, you're taking away the power from them. You're taking away power from yourself because you're spending all this energy trying to weigh down and trying to expect things. And that's painful and that hurts these ideas and these concepts and the money and the people that want to be in your life and want to serve you. And it's not fun. And it's not in alignment. That's a trying energy. That's a very conjuring energy. That is not an energy that is created out of a space of worthy, out of a space of I am enough. And so it's not of service to anybody. Yeah. So, quick recap, because I feel like I've just zoned out for a little bit. Standards are what you are energetically okay with. It's saying, I'm okay with this and I'm not okay with this. It's setting rules and boundaries for yourself. And it's a very powerful, assertive energy that you need to be pretty certain in your worth and in your power in order to be able to create standards that are actually backed by certainty, backed by belief, and backed by your worth, backed by your worth that you like truly value, and that you that will withstand the tests of time, I guess is a good way to put that. So within that, expectations, that's the next one. So expectations, those are you putting weight onto something. You're expecting something to be something that it is not. You are trying to force certain things in your energy and in your life and in your experience to be things that really they don't care about, that really they don't want to be, that really it's not a big deal if they are. That is not necessarily true for them. It is you putting false truths onto things that don't, it's you putting labels on things. That's not fun. So yeah, that was my quick recap. Tomorrow, I'm talking about, I wrote it on my whiteboard. That's why I'm looking up there. We're talking about soul desires and how to tell if it's a soul desire. And we're talking about the difference between manifestation and conjuring. A very fun little, it'll be very fun. And you obviously want to be here for it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the replay, if you're watching that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy me just kind of ranting about the things that I'm thinking about. It's been really fun for me. And hopefully it was helpful and insightful for you and that you got something. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about stuff. So I'm talking about it. Have a good day.